Located on the Pearl River Delta in southern China, known as the City of Flowers, Guangzhou has been the biggest and most important port in China and once was part of the Maritime Silk Road, the trading route that linked China to India and beyond. Today, Guangzhou is the final port of call on the 2018 World Tour because we're at the Tianhe Gymnasium for the last event of the year, the HSBC BWF World Tour Finals. The culmination of events that have spanned the globe, from America to Europe to Asia and Oceania, all culminating in just the top 8 players and pairs in each of the 5 disciplines being invited to the end-of-year finale here in Guangzhou. 63 players from 13 different nations are here in Guangzhou and all have played their part in giving us a great year of badminton. And the celebrations got underway on Monday evening with the players' gala dinner and award ceremony. All players dressed for the occasion and very much looked the glamorous superstars that they are. The best male player of the year went to GIDEON SUKAMULJO once again, and the female player of the year, Wang Yaxiong, who together with Zheng Qiwei won 9 mixed doubles titles this year. This is the magnificent trophy the players are playing for this week, made by Royal Selangor. The design is based on the famous Canton Tower here in Guangzhou, the 4th tallest freestanding structure in the world. But it's not just the trophy at stake, there's also a prize fund of $1.5 million, the biggest purse ever at a BWF event. So just 8 players and pairs in each of the 5 disciplines, and as far as the tournament format is concerned, the 8 players or pairs in each of the 5 different disciplines have been divided into 2 groups of 4. Everyone plays everyone else in their group, and then it's just the top 2 from each of those groups who qualify for the semi-final knockout stage. Semi-finals on Saturday before all 5 finals on Sunday. So this is the second session on day 1 of competition, so it's the first of the group matches. 5 matches for you this evening, and we're starting with GIDEON and SUKAMULJO, the #1 seeds and winners of 8 World Tour titles this year. They're up against the European champions Kim ASTRUP and RASMUSSEN. Then it's mixed doubles and Zheng Qiwei and Wang Yaxiong, World and Asian Games gold medalists, winner of 7 world titles, World Tour titles this year, up against Ellis and Smith from England. Then it's men's singles, and it is Shi Yuqi, the World Championships silver medalist, one of 3 different men's singles winners at the 3 Super 1000 events, up against the former world #1, Song Wan-ho, who has won his last 2 tournaments that he's played. Then it's mixed doubles, and it's the Olympic silver medalists against the World Championship silver medalists, Chan Peng-soon and Goh Liu-ying of Malaysia against Wang Yilu and Huang Dongping of China. Then we finish with men's singles and the #1 seed, Chou Tian-chen of Chinese Taipei, the Asian Games silver medalist and winner of 3 World Tour titles this year, up against the Asian Games bronze medalist, Anthony Sinisuka Ginting, who has won 2 World Tour titles this year, including 1 Super 1000 event. So as far as the players are concerned, this is the last nervous moments, warming up in the wings before being announced onto centre stage here at the Tianhe Gymnasium. This is a Group A encounter, and I can tell you that in Group B there were 2 matches in the first session of the day. 2-time former world champions Asan and Setiawan lost to Endo and Watanabe in Group B, and the #2 seeds Chen Hongling and Wang Qilin, they won their match as well. But this is the first men's doubles from Group A here at the HSBC BWF World Tour Finals. World Tour ranking 1 for the Indonesians, 5 as far as the Danes are concerned. 8 World Tour titles. That is a new record. They broke their own record. They won 7 Super Series titles last year, and now the Super Series has become the World Tour. So 8 titles in 1 calendar year is a new record for Gideon and SUKAMULJO. Well, as the countdown begins to invite the first players onto court, and very fitting that it is the world #1s and the defending champions at the end of year finale. Won the Super Series finals a year ago in Dubai. 9 World Tour tournament finals, winning 8 titles. My goodness, what a year they have had.
RASMUSSEN, Denmark.
So the European champions, Kim ASTRUP and RASMUSSEN. Well, the odds are stacked against them as you look at the head-to-head. This is the 7th meeting between the 2 pairs of the previous 6. Gideon and SUKAMULJO have won 5 of them, including the last 3 occasions. Last time they met was in the quarter-final of the Fuzhou, China. So it looks to me as if the Danes may have chosen ends, but I'll get that confirmed by my friend and colleague, Steen Pedersen, former head coach of the Danish national team, and delighted, obviously, that there are some Danes here, but this is the only Danish representative in
the only Danish representative, and they had to struggle as well to get here.
Well, we'll come back to that a little bit later about Danish participation. But let's look first of all at Marcus Fernaldi Gideon, 27 years of age, born in Jakarta. And he and his partner are enjoying their 75th week in total as world #1s. 3rd appearance at the end of year finale tournament. Kevin Sanjaya SUKAMULJO, just 23 years of age, born in Bangkuwangi, the easternmost end of Java, serves as a port between Java and the island of Bali. 10 finals from 13 tournaments in total this year for the Indonesians. But as far as World Tour is concerned, 9 finals from 11 tournaments. So to the left-handed Kim ASTRUP, 26 years of age, born in Herning. Currently #7 on the world ranking, but they did spend a total of 3 weeks across 2 different spells at #5 in the world ranking. That was their career high. Making their first appearance, Anders Rasmussen and his partner. 3 finals this year, 2 of them at World Tour tournaments, winning the China Super 1000, probably one of the biggest surprises of the year, and also winning the European Championships, but reached the final of the India Super 500 event. Yuval Kassel from Switzerland is our umpire for this. Biraj Gunadre of Mauritius is the service judge. So the Danes, having lost the last 3 encounters against their opponents of today, presumably Steen will have different tactics today. Must be trying something different.
I hope they will. That will be needed. And you're right. They did decide that they wanted to start on this near side of the court. I think Gideon and SUKAMULJO won the coin toss and elected to serve, and then the Danes elected to start on this near side here. And if the conditions are like they were in the previous session 1, then the Danes will be playing with the drift in the first game.
And on my left,
quite slow.
Kevin Sanjaya SUKAMULJO, and Marcus Fernaldi Gideon, Indonesia. Marcus Fernaldi Gideon to serve to Kim ASTRUP. Love all. Play.
So the first of the Group A men's doubles matches gets underway. My goodness, what a very, very good start.
Service over.
Kim ASTRUP.
1 love. Service over. 1-all.
So before we really get into the
Service over.
match here, Steen, just coming back to the Danish representation, there has been a Danish men's doubles pair in the Super Series finals, as the end-of-year finale used to be called,
Service over.
at the last 9 end-of-year finale tournaments.
Yeah.
So this-
it's a strong.
Yeah, 10th,
Category.
10th consecutive year.
2-all.
Probably one of the lowest representations of Danish participants.
3.
He had injuries to Victor Axelsen, who was, of course, one of the favorites to go here in men's singles.
And 2-time defending champion.
Exactly.
4.
There was a chance that the mixed doubles with the new pairing, relatively new pairing with Mathias Christiansen and Christina Pedersen could make it, but they didn't play well enough in the last 2-3 tournaments.
Oh, he mistimed that. That came off the frame of the racket.
And of course, Gideon and SUKAMULJO, they've had the chance to listen to what their compatriots, Hassan and Sechevan, experienced earlier today. They had a tough start on this court 1 here, lost the first game 21-4 against Endo and Watanabe. It seems that they are reasonably satisfied just clearing.
2-1.
Oh, that's a lovely change of pace from
Service
SUKAMULJO.
over. 5-3.
Oh,
Service over.
Strings in his racket there.
yeah.
Marcus Fernaldi Gideon. Well, they're on a quest, the world number ones from Indonesia, to become only the second men's doubles pair to win 2 consecutive end-of-year finale titles.
Nope.
Of course, the first pair to do that was Bo Mogensen
4,
from Denmark. In fact, they won
5.
3 in a row, having contested 4 consecutive finals.
Excellent play by Marcus Gideon here. The second last smash was a smash that was aimed at shoulder level at Kim ASTRUP. That forced a short
6,
reply.
4.
We saw it in the first session of today that the shuttles, they were quite slow, and it makes a whole lot of difference in terms of playing style and how the game goes.
I have to say, looking at that rally, some of the slowest conditions that we've probably seen this year.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Both pairs
7,
played their
4.
longest match on the World Tour in the recent Hong Kong Super 500. That was also kind of slow playing conditions, and we've seen some other places. Also outside the World Tour, the World Championships in Nanjing, that was also reasonably slow conditions there.
Service over. 5-8. Six, 8.
Strings went.
Yeah, but there was again this flat smash from Marcus Gideon, and I think it's something that he's doing deliberate to vary
7,
his attack.
8.
That's simply necessary when the shuttles are as slow as they are today.
Is it going to be even more important to involve the front court player with slow conditions, Steen?
Yes, I think it is, because it's more difficult. It enhances the defense with all players. So we'll see probably a more patient playing style and longer rallies than we're used to in men's doubles.
Yeah, it's nice variation, isn't it?
I don't think the Danes can afford to give them these chances with so much time in their attack. They've got to play a little bit more flat.
Service over.
Either on the first or the second defense, I think. I mean, because the defense gets better, it gets easier to keep the backcourt player at the back. So that's why you want to involve the front court player, or share the responsibility, share the workload from the backcourt.
Yeah, another racket gone.
Typically, in the beginning of the tournament, you break more strings than later on, before you get used to the timing in the hole and so on.
9, 10. Service over.
Great interception.
11-9.
And it means that the world #1s have a 2-point advantage at the mid-game interval here in this opening game. Ariono Miranat. Losing coach. No, he seems to be indicating to me by his gestures there that he's quite happy for his players to be defending and lifting.
Yeah.
Board 1, 20 seconds.
And if they can defend on this side of the court, or the near side of the court, not the near side, the far side of the court that they're playing right now, they can definitely also defend in the second game. Whether they're content doing that, I would doubt that this man here, Kevin SUKAMULJO, he's not playing badminton to defend.
No. I like the idea that he tried to step into that defensive shot. Anders Rasmussen. Oh, that's so good. But he seemed to have so much time to switch to his forehand defence and then have a good old swipe at it. Oh! Well, it hit the ground first.
14-9. Yes.
Yep, bounced before he got it. But it is, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Kim Astrup wearing the compression stockings before, or the running tights, whatever you want to call them. But the conditions here are very cold, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Service
Not
over.
only the playing conditions, I've seen the mixed zone, which is more or less
14.
outside actually, so the players can get really, really cold when being interviewed after the match there. So that's not ideal.
It's not that warm in our commentary positions then.
Service over. 15-10.
It's going wide. They've been dominant so far, SUKAMULJO and GIDEON, and basically would expect them to, given the head-to-heads, but I also think that the shuttle speed is probably a little bit too slow for the Danes. I mean, they normally have a good defense, but I don't think they can beat GIDEON and SUKAMULJO by playing defensive. So the slow shuttles, they also help GIDEON and SUKAMULJO's defense, making it difficult for the Danes to kill it.
That's nicely demonstrated in that rally.
Yeah. He's standing too far back in his defense, RASMUSSEN leaves him no opportunities, and basically this, that he saves it but loses the next one, that's the worst thing that could happen for the Danes. I'd much rather, from a Danish perspective, that GIDEON just kills it on him immediately on the first smash, or that he has some counter-attacking possibilities because he stands half a step closer to the net.
Called in.
Yeah. Well, our first challenge of this evening's session. Called in, but the Indonesians thought it was out. So here we are. What does Hawkeye say? Yeah, was it? Good call, line judge.
Challenge unsuccessful. One challenge remaining. Service over. 13-17. Play.
Off. goes down as a missed opportunity, but I'm guessing that was tighter than
17.
and more difficult than perhaps it first looked.
Although wasn't that a whole lot of angle in it, he probably should have blocked it.
Yeah.
It's easy for us to say.
Yeah.
After watching it in replay.
We can all be wise after the event.
Yeah, it's too slow. Excellent read by SUKAMULJO.
18-14.
That's well played. Excellent play with a broken string, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it happened on the last shot, though, didn't it, Steen?
Service over. 15-18.
Good serve.
Yeah, he's been practicing this tumble serve as well, Kim Astrup, and has had some success with it. That's the way to do it. Well played by the Danes there. The question is whether SUKAMULJO and GIDEON, they had a nice lead, whether
18.
they're just comfortable and just tightening the grip a little bit here towards the end of the first game.
Lovely change of pace again. That's how they won the last rally. And they've closed the deficit, now back level. Well done by the Danes.
18-all.
4 of the last 5 points and 4 straight points, in fact.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well played by GIDEON. My goodness. Just brushed that off the top of the tape.
19-18.
Wow, that looked high, that serves.
It's all about placement. Rasmussen initially committed to his backhand defence.
Game
That
point.
was hit down his
18.
forehand side. So 2 game point opportunities for GIDEON and SUKAMULJO. It's a lovely change of pace.
Please wipe the court.
Got caught on his way back, GIDEON.
Okay. Marcus, can you please check? It's okay. Thank you. $19-20. 20
Very unusual.
all.
Error on the return of serve. 20 all, and now extra points required until there's a clear 2-point winning margin.
Oh, fantastic shot there.
What a rally. Brilliant.
Fantastic rally. But that interception by Kevin SUKAMULJO midway through the rally. That one. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely extraordinary.
Quite high artistic impression, in my opinion.
The longest rally of the match so far as well. So, having saved 2 game points, now the Danes have a game point opportunity themselves.
(21-20).
I think I would go for a flicker.
Opening game to the Danes, the European champions. Kim Astrup and Anders Rasmussen.
And Anders Rasmussen.
Well, what an extraordinary opening game. There's the final rally. Here from SUKAMULJO. And the Danes 1 game to the good. 22-20 in 21 minutes.
Dia kadang-kadang suka setinggi tuh, setinggi kadang-kadang setinggi. Tadi mereka seperti itu kok lulusnya banyak mulai salah. Nanti dulu nggak apa-apa, nanti dulu kabar dulu ya. Nah kadang kalau lu lagi dia kadang kan lu angkat terus tuh, dia kadang cop hati-hati kalau copnya tuh. Ya, sama lu kalau giliran lu kadang pas cuma dia kadang ada ngeremnya. Rem lu tenang sabarin dulu aja, orang ngangkat terus tuh kabar aja dulu. Ya, lu jangan kan tadi lu lagi leading tuh kendor dikit. Jangan kan udah ngedor begitu terus, ya. Oke.
Well, Indonesian coach Aryono Miranat has had his say. Of course, the Danes here without a coach, and that because there is a ongoing dispute between the national players and the national federation back in Denmark.
Court 1,
yeah,
20
he
seconds.
must have done some fast thinking, Aryono Miranat, because, I mean, the Indonesians, they had a healthy lead, 17-12, lost 10-3 towards the end of that game. That's quite unusual.
Game.
I think the Danes must
Love
be
all.
fairly happy because
Play.
a game 1 is potentially important in group stage play.
Absolutely.
If they should lose this match eventually. Well played.
Yeah.
Just standing there, SUKAMULJO. But
1 love.
of course, they shouldn't get too content having won 1 game. The Danes, the Indonesians, they have in the World Tour this year, They have a comeback rate of 75% after losing the first game. 9 out of 12 matches where they've lost the first game, they've come back and won it.
Crikey.
That's impressive.
That is impressive.
Yes.
I mean, there's no question the Indonesians have been the pair of the season. But do you think it's also perhaps a changing of times? There's only 2 pairs in the World Tour finals here in Guangzhou that competed at the end of the year finale a year ago. Gideon and SUKAMULJO, obviously one pair, and it's the other pair, the reigning world champions, Li Junhui and Liu Chen.
Yeah.
So 6 new pairs.
It is.
Service over.
It is a
2-1.
time of changes. Some of the older pairings, amongst others, the Danes, have lost playing strength, and new pairings are on their way forward.
Service over. 2-all.
And we've also seen some of the old pairs come back again. The Korean pairs, very nice drop shot there by Kim Astrup. That has worked well for the Danes so far.
Yeah.
The longest match that SUKAMULJO and Gideon has played in the World Tour this year is against Lee Young-dae and Kim Gi-jung in Hong Kong Open.
Yes.
So they've been dominant the last 2 years, SUKAMULJO and Gideon, but I can also see that there's pairs coming forward that are challenging them. They haven't lost a whole lot on the World Tour, only 2 Chinese pairs, but it's also 2 young Chinese pairs that are on their way forward.
Yes, in fact, their year win-loss record in World Tour tournaments is 49-3.
Service over.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Played 52 matches in all.
3-all.
And I mean, you're bound to have bad days eventually. You're not on top of your game all the time, still managing to win it. That's impressive.
Yeah.
And now we should see the Indonesians having a little bit easier time of penetrating the Danish defense. Very nice flat defense there from Kim Astrup. I still feel that Rasmussen needs to come a step closer to the net, but it's not his preferred
Service over.
working area, so to speak.
4-all.
Service over, 7-4.
There it was. That gives him the opportunity to play it flat. He doesn't have to play upwards, and that makes a whole lot of difference.
Service over, 5-7.
Fault.
It's a little lucky for the Indonesians that Rasmussen touched that one, I think. Could easily have seen it.
Service
go long.
over. 5-all.
Service over, 8-5.
Fault.
Wait, he touched that.
Fault.
Yeah. Well spotted by Ivo Kassel,
Service over.
umpire.
Yes. Six, 5. Service over. 6-all.
Fantastic.
Seven, 6.
Again, this change from backhand defense to forehand, he moves his racket so quick, SUKAMULJO. Nice work by Rasmussen there. Good variation in his attack and moves forward.
7-all.
Fascinating to watch, you know, Steen, because you and I are so used to seeing this Indonesian pair play so quickly.
Yeah.
And under these conditions, that simply won't work.
No, it's difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. Well worked.
There was a little trap early on in the rally where SUKAMULJO played a shot that could make Kim ASTRUP think that he had a good chance. So SUKAMULJO, he knew exactly where it was coming.
Service over. 8-9.
12-6.
I don't think the Danes, they've flicked enough here in the second game. I think that worked well for them in the beginning.
Oh, strings are broken.
Yeah.
And SUKAMULJO racket, but he didn't have to play another shot.
Service over. 10-8. Yes.
Service over. 37.
11-8. Interval.
So to the mid-game interval with an 11-8 advantage. And we had a 2-point advantage in the opening game, and they couldn't convert that. So not only just two pairs in the men's doubles discipline here who contested the Super Series finals a year ago. We've only got two of the World Championship medalists. The gold medalists and the bronze medalists, Chen Hongling and Wang Qilin, who are the #2 seeds here in Guangzhou. A big surprise to me, Steen, that Komura and Sonoda weren't able to qualify for these finals. Didn't play well enough at the second half of the year.
No, they've played well at the championships, so to speak. That's what they've been focusing on this year, and of course the championship results doesn't count towards the qualifying list for this tournament.
I'm seeing signs that SUKAMULJO is beginning to get a little bit frustrated. I think he's trying so desperately to play a winner when he intercepts at the front of the court that he's trying to play it too steeply, and he's making errors.
Oh, that would have gone in, I think, actually. I had a little time to think about it. So I think it was a good thing that he tried to return it, Kim ASTRUP. Yeah.
12-10.
I think the case with SUKAMULJO is that he's really a hard player to keep down. He can have concentration lapses or shots that doesn't really work out. We tend to forget them because he plays so many beautiful shots.
Yeah.
But he's really hard to
11-12.
to keep down throughout a a full match, because he will eventually, as we see Ariora Miranat put some grip on rackets, he will eventually make some good shots and gain self-confidence there.
All.
So 4 of the 5 points since the mid-game interval.
He's got to move forward, Rasmussen, that's it. He tried to do it here, but he didn't do it with confidence. Had he done it with confidence, there would have been a number of chances, and instead we saw this fantastic attack by SUKAMULJO.
13.
And that's what the Danes can do here. They can really move their defense closer to the front court, because there we see again is too far behind, trying to escape. More or less.
12.
And you can't afford to do that, because even though you think your chances gets better, they actually gets worse in terms of winning the rally. Never a good idea when you play SUKAMULJO and GIDEON to try and play a short block on an attack. He's simply too fast, Kevin SUKAMULJO. That's not going to work for the Danes.
But it wasn't only his speed forward, Steen. I instinctively felt the way he placed it, where he placed that kill, was so quick of thought. So it's not just physically quick on courts, quick thinking as well.
Yes. Quick perception of the game.
Yeah.
Racket gone? Yeah, I think it might be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he made his way to the net. I think he was contemplating changing it.
I'm a little surprised he didn't try and change it, actually.
He could have done that, because, I mean, they had the initiative and slow shuttles and so on, so...
Service over. 13, 15.
Yeah, he was standing his ground there, Steen.
Yeah, that's well played.
14, 15.
And this is possible because of the slow shuttle, because otherwise, of course, the Indonesian attack would have been more dangerous had the shuttle's been a little bit faster.
So just 1 point in it.
There he comes forward again, Rasmussen. That's actually very well. Excellent.
Lovely change of pace.
Oh,
My goodness.
Fantastic save.
How did he get that back? What a rally. What a rally. This could be very important too.
This is the longest men's doubles rally of the year.
It's landed in. Would you believe it? By the pace and trajectory of that last shot, I thought that was going to go miles long.
Exactly.
14.
My goodness.
Seems like both pairs are looking for an opportunity to towel down or do something, but no one wants to give an inch mentally.
86 shots.
A flicker would be dangerous right now.
Please stop. I will check. I will. Anas, please get ready. Don't interrupt him.
SUKAMULJO complaining to the umpire that his opponent was taking too long.
Oi.
Yeah, it's landed well in.
Service over.
Well, it was a flicker,
Very
but it,
alert by Rasmussen.
yeah, it wasn't a particularly good flicker.
16.
I don't know why I'm saying flicker. I'm not following your lead there.
Yeah.
It's a flick. Oh yes, that's well played.
Service over.
Again, this higher targeted smash from GIDEON, making the opponents judge the
17.
speed of the
15.
following shot,
Final game,
speed of the reply.
global 20.
Hey, nice move by
Service over.
Kim there.
16. 17.
Yeah, it's very nice. Racket arm outstretched, taking it as early as possible.
Service over 1-4.
Oh, that's going well. Oh,
He's taking it.
Service over 2-all.
Top of the tape.
my goodness, they're having to work hard for each and every point.
Service over. 18-16.
GIDEON is asking to towel down.
Okay.
There's so many exciting matches in this group, in my opinion. The world champions, the tall Chinese, but it's, in my opinion, the most powerful pair when they are at their best. So looking forward to see them play here on home soil, because should be conditions that suits them well. And then Han and Zhao, who's beaten Kevin and Marcus twice this year,
Yeah.
but have lost 3 times to the Danes.
18-16.
Yeah, it is fascinating. It's the beauty, isn't it,
Yeah.
of the group play.
Play.
Different styles suits different pairs and players.
Service over.
Service over 4-4.
Well, I think an awful lot's going to depend on nerves of the Indonesians right now.
And nerves of the Danes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, he missed that.
That's well left.
Service over.
A good anticipation.
19-17.
Two points away from taking this second game. One point away from levelling this match at one game apiece.
20, game point, 17.
And they've been resilient in the long rallies, the Indonesians.
Game.
One game all, 21-17.
Second game, won by Marcus Fernalde GIDEON, Kevin Sanjaya SUKAMULJO, 21-17, one game all.
Umpire just confirming that fact, that it is indeed one game all, and we will be treated to the third and deciding game. Seemed to just fizzle out, and in fact to me those last couple of rallies, but all credit to the Indonesians. 21-17, one game all.
Baliknya kalau mereka yang defend, udah enakan juga lu ada variasi juga. Yang enakan terus ada variasi, ada panjang, ada kecil kayak variasi, ya. Karena kalau lu bisa masih itu, kalau lu bisa itu, lu lamain sekalian, ya. Lamain dulu sekalian atau lu jadi begini, servisnya dulu cobain. Yang dari bawa emosi, ya. Kalau servis dulu, kalau lu servis pasti di atas kepala, tutup aja udah kalau nggak enak.
Making use of the HSBC bench.
Ya. Bener nggak? Ya, jangan kendor, masih bisa, ya. Kalau bisa ambil poin dulu, hah? Kenapa?
Pasti Mas Dut gitu, kaget.
Oh, sama kalau lagi di sana nanti kalau nggak kamu sebenarnya kita pacok tuh, ya, aneh.
This is normally where we see the Indonesians sort of kick it up a gear and make use of the momentum that they've gotten from winning the second game. Let's see if they can do that here as well.
Chord 1, 20 seconds. Chord 1, 20 seconds.
So the umpire announces 20 seconds remaining of the 2-minute timeout, and therefore the players need to get ready. A chance for me to give my fun fact of the day, Steen. The 8 men's doubles pairs at the World Tour finals here won 15 World Tour titles between them, which means that Gideon and
They won
SUKAMULJO...
more than all the others together.
Exactly. Over 50% of the titles won by the 8 pairs here, won by this pair from Indonesia.
Love.
It's gone long.
Yeah, and you could say that
Service
it's
over.
basically the China Open victory that has seen ASTRUP and Rasmussen qualify for this tournament. They won 20 matches throughout the World Tour this year.
Yeah, we shouldn't forget they were in the final of the India Super 500 event.
Yeah.
2 quarterfinals at Super 750s. That was in Malaysia and Fuzhou, China.
He's got to do something there, Rasmussen. It's really well played by SUKAMULJO because he's beating Rasmussen one-on-one now, and he can't afford that. He can't afford to play SUKAMULJO 3 times with lots of time for SUKAMULJO. He's got to move him. Otherwise, the Danes, they'll be in dry straits.
Well left.
Service over. 2.
They're supposed to be playing up against that little drift that there is.
3-2.
Well, we do know from playing in these big stadiums around the world that the drift can change. All you need is somebody to open a door somewhere.
That's right.
Oh, that's just sensational. What a lovely play
Service
from
over.
Kevin Sanjaya SUKAMULJO.
3-all.
Well left.
Just wide. Oh, they're challenging.
Clearly wide.
Yeah.
Marcus Finaldi,
I agree
Gideon
with you.
challenges called out.
We've got a very good commentary position here this week, haven't we, Steve? We're
Especially for that line.
looking straight down onto the court. Which means that if we've got this wrong, we're going to look rather silly.
I'll just complain about Hawkeye there.
No, we're right.
Challenge unsuccessful.
We're saved.
I'm not accepting that that should be
One
wrong.
challenge remaining. Service over. 4-3. Play.
Service over. 10, 8.
Very short that lift.
Another racket gone.
I hope they have enough. That's probably why Ariona Mironat was putting grip on some of the rackets that they might be a little short.
Do strings in cold conditions, do they become a little bit brittle, or is it just the timing that goes off?
5-3.
I don't think there's that much of a difference. I don't know. There might be some scientific explanation, but back in the days, Jill, when you were playing and it was a different type of string, not a synthetic string, then there was differences.
Yeah.
You could see players sort of trying to warm the strings with their hands.
And the 9 interval. 10.
Careful, Steen, I'm not that much older than you, you know.
No, but I wasn't playing.
3.
Not at that level, at least.
This is a good little spell by the Danes, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, basically no matter what happens, they've still played a good first game, first round match here.
Super angle.
And the first thing they
Service
should
over.
think about when this
4,
happens is we must have been too
6.
far back. The only possibility was to play it directly into the racket head of Kevin SUKAMULJO.
Yeah.
Five, 6. Service over.
Good service return
7,
from Kim ASTRUP.
5.
Out. Service over. 10, 11.
Yeah, he got in a muddle there.
Service
Anders
over.
Rasmussen. But it was good placement. It was directed
6,
right at his right
7.
hip, and he got in a muddle as to whether he was supposed to be defending forehand or backhand.
We talked about it earlier on, the thing about how quickly you
7,
perceive what's happening in a match, and you can think of the practice in Indonesia against Alfian and Arianto and Asan and Setchawan, all playing fast and furious. So that sort of
8.
gives you good practice in picking up quickly on what's
Anders
happening.
Rasmussen challenges called out.
Well, first challenge of the match from the Danes. I fear they'll lose that challenge. What
I'm
did you
certain
think?
they will lose it. It was a challenge to break the rhythm. They had lost that lead. They had built up like
They've just lost
double quick time.
Yeah, 4 of the last 5 points. Here we go. Yeah.
Challenge unsuccessful. 1 challenge remaining. 8-7. Play.
Oh, that's well taken from Gideon.
I think
9-7.
I think the Danes have gotten a little bit tensed at the moment. They're not, in my opinion, fast enough in mind or racket.
Oh, that's clever. Very, very nice.
10-7.
7 of the last 8 points now. 3-6 down.
Yeah.
No. 11-7 interval.
Like that.
Jane Jens.
8 of the last 9 points. What a very, very good turnaround by the world #1s, Gideon and SUKAMULJO. And they have a 4-point advantage as they change zones in this deciding game. 56 minutes into the match.
Pelan-pelan gitu loh. Tapi kalau udah dia kena lagi terus begitu angkat, aja kencengin. Jadi variasi dia kan. Kalau kenceng jadi ada pelannya dulu, temponya pelannya dulu, artinya tempo lalu bolanya pelan-pelan dulu. Menanggung baru dikencengin lagi, cek ke tengah dulu coba.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20
Well, looking at the body language of the Indonesians there, Steen, you wouldn't think they were 4 points in front. But it is a very alien style they're having to play today.
11,
alien to them.
Yeah. They had to play it last year at the year-end finale as well. Lost their first match in the group against Kimura and Sonoda, and then eventually, towards the end of the match, found the right recipe and beat them in the, must have been the semi-final.
12-7. Service
well,
over.
the run comes to an end. 9 of the previous 10 points.
8-12. Service over.
There, he was alert to that flick serve.
13-8. Service over. 9-13.
Service over. 12-13.
Oh, that was a nice shot. Super. What an angle from SUKAMULJO.
Yes. Service over. 14-9. Yes, it's you.
And it's also the lift from ASTRUP that's not really the right quality. SUKAMULJO can just step directly back into it. He should move some sideways before being able to hit the attack.
15.
But, it seems like it's slipping away from the Danes. And like we discussed, the Indonesians building on the momentum.
Oh, my goodness.
Ball.
Oh, he's called a fault. Touch the net. There, they know it.
But there was about perception. I mean, SUKAMULJO was covering only one spot on that court.
Service over.
The spot where the shuttle came.
Yeah.
10-15. Service over. 16.
Well, ever since that
10.
3-6 deficit, the Indonesians have looked a class above their opponents, in all honesty, in these latter stages.
Yeah, they have been a class
17,
over. It looks
10.
like the Danes are either very nervous or very tired. I think it's perhaps a mixture of both things. The racket has dropped down, and the Indonesians have gained energy and momentum. And their rackets, they haven't dropped down.
Service
No.
over.
Oh, my goodness, the stringers are going to be busy tonight, aren't they? I wish I'd been keeping count of the number of rackets broken by the Indonesian pair. Strings, I should say, broken, not
yeah.
rackets.
And most of the time, it's
11.
a lost point.
Yeah.
17.
But I just wonder in these slow conditions whether, in fact, they should take the tension down a little bit.
Yeah, that would make sense. But on the other hand, you would like to increase it because you want some extra power.
Yeah.
Good interception, fantastic interception.
Yeah, brilliant. But I'm not sure
Service
extra
over.
power is actually going to be enough with
No.
the slow
No,
conditions
it
to get
isn't.
through. So you
No.
might as well take
18,
the tension
11.
slightly down on the rackets, because then if you've broken 10 rackets, that's 10 points in the match.
Exactly.
Foul!
2 points away
19,
from
11.
victory, which will increase their comeback record this year.
To 10 out of 13.
Yeah. Not there yet, though. Well, it was a nice idea.
Service over. 12.
I knew it wasn't going to go
19.
over. And another go.
Let.
A little bit of tension between the two, I suspect.
12. 19.
RASMUSSEN and SUKAMULJO.
Wait.
Yeah. Each thought the other was going for it.
19. Left. Come on. You saw that they are not ready. You saw that they are not ready. Come on. 13.
I didn't get that from the
19.
umpire, did you
You
hear?
said you saw that they're not ready.
Match
Service
point
over.
opportunities for Marcus Fernaldi Gideon and Kevin Sanjaya SUKAMULJO.
20. Match point 13.
Only needed the one opportunity. 21-13 in the deciding game. Well,
Match
forced to play
won by
a totally
Marcus
different
Fernaldi
style
Gideon and
to
Kevin
their
Sanjaya SUKAMULJO.
natural
20-22.
dynamic,
21-17.
exciting, fast style.
21-13.
But it seems that they can play any way they have to. Hard work, though, over the hour mark for their victory in 3 games. 20-22, 21-17, 21-13 in the deciding game.